Hi, welcome to my video on the squares and cubes of decimals. The square of a decimal. Let n be a number. The square of a number is n squared. N squared equals n times n. Examples: 3 squared, 3 times 3, 9. 4 squared, 4 times 4, 16. 2 squared, 2 times 2, 4. A decimal is squared as a decimal times a decimal. So decimal 2 times decimal 2. Note, 2 times 2 is 4. And there's one decimal place. So we have decimal 0.4 for our answer. Notice when you square, you're doubling the number. There's one decimal place here, so we have 2. 0.3 times 0.3, and that gives us 3 3s are 9. One decimal place, 2 decimal places, 1 2s. Note, one decimal place squared, you're doubling the number of decimal places. Decimal 1 times decimal 1. 1 times 1 is 1. 1 decimal place. This gives us decimal 0.1, or put the 0 in front. Now, 0.05 times 0.05, when we square it, we know that 5 5s are 25. Okay, so we have 2 decimal places, 4 altogether. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 decimal places. Again, there's 2 decimals here, so you're multiplying by itself, so it makes 4 decimal places. Decimal 0.01 times decimal 0.01, and we know that 1 times 1 is 1. We have 3 decimal places in each of these, so that makes a 6 total. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So decimal, 5 zeros and a 1, 6 decimal places. Notice you could use your calculator on working all these out, like let's say decimal 0.02 squared. Let's turn this on. Decimal 0.01 squared, let's say. And notice we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5 zeros and a 1. There's 3 decimal 0.01 is 3 decimal places. Doubled, not squaring, you're doubling the number of decimal places. So the calculator could help you out, but I like to use the pencil. Pause, work these out, come back and get the answers. So 0.02 times 0 decimal. Now, you wouldn't have to write these down. You could just say 2 squared is 4, and you got 4 decimal places. But writing them down, you can see what's happening. There's 2 decimal places there and 2 there. Again, you could square 1 to get 1, and you got 2 decimal places and 4 decimal places, so you could do it like that. Or you can write it out. Decimal 0.1 times decimal 0.1. 1 times 1 is 1. 2 decimal places, 4 altogether, and do that. Your choice. Decimal 6 squared is 36. Yep. And there's 2 decimal places, so it's decimal 36. Decimal 0.07 times decimal 0.07. We know that 7 times 7 is 49. And there's 3 decimal places in each of these, so that's total of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we have a combination here, and we have what we had PEMDAS, PEMDAS. That's parentheses or brackets, exponents, multiplication left to right, addition, subtraction left to right. So we have to do the inside of these brackets, but they're done. So we have to square these before we add. So decimal 8 squared, 8 eighths are 64, and we got a decimal and two decimals. So it's 0.64. And decimal 21 squared, well, 21 times 21 is 1, 2, 2, 4. So that's a 4, 4, 1 when I add these up. And we have two decimal places. So it's 4 decimal places altogether. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Add these up. So we line up the decimals when we add. 0, 4, 4, 1. Notice there's 0 there and a 0 there. 1, 4, 8, 6 decimal. So 0.6841. Again, you're obeying BEDMAS or your PEMDAS. Now we look at this. We have to work the inside of this first because we have to do the excuse me, inside of the parentheses first. So inside of here we have a subtraction and a multiplication. So we'll multiply first. So 11.7 subtract 10 times 1.02 is 10.2. When you multiply by 10, the decimal moves one place to the right. And so we have our multiplication. Now we have to subtract. So 11.7, 10.2 subtract 5, 1. So we get a 1.5 when we subtract. Again, notice we're doing the inside the brackets first. Now we get that done fully. Now we're doing the exponents. And 1.5 squared is 15 squared is 225. And there's one decimal place, two decimal places, so we get 2.25. Remember, 1.5 times 1.5. There's one place, decimal place in each of them, so that makes it 2. Okay. Let's cube a decimal. Let n be a number. The cube of a number is n cubed. N cubed means n times n times n. So 2 cubed is 2 times 2 times 2. 4 times 2 is 8. 3 cubed, 3 times 3 times 3. 9 times 3 is 27. 5 cubed is 5 times 5 times 5. 25 times 5, 125. Again, you could use your calculator and get the answers very quickly, but I like using the pencil. A decimal is cubed as decimal times decimal times decimal. It's the same as 2 times 2 times 2 when 2 is cubed. So decimal 1 times decimal 1 times decimal 1 when you cube it is 1 times 1 times 1 is 1. You got one decimal place, another decimal place, another decimal place. So there's 3 decimal places. So we get, start here, 1, 2, 3, 3 decimal places. Decimal 2 cubed. So it's decimal 2, decimal 2, decimal 2. And again, 2 times 2 is 4 times 2 is 8. And we have 1, 2, 3 decimal place in each. So we have 1, 2, 3 decimal places. Notice there's one decimal place right here in decimal 2. When you cube it, it's 3 times as many. Decimal 0, 3 times decimal 0, 3 times decimal 0, 3. And 3 times 3 is 9. 3 nines are 27. And we have 2 decimal places, 2, 6 altogether. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 decimal 4 zeros, 2, 7. And decimal 001, decimal 001, decimal 001. And again, I'm just writing it. Didn't have to. I could have taken 1 and squared it. Got 1. And I got 3, 6, 9 decimal places. So 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 decimal places. So when you're cubing, you triple the number of decimals places in the digit. Work these out. Come back to see if you're right. pause your video, work these out, and play it back. So decimal 4 times decimal 4 times decimal 4. And that gives us 4 4s is 16. 16 times 4 is 64. And there's 3 decimal places. 1 decimal place, 2 decimal place, another, there's 3 altogether. Decimal 5 times decimal 5 times decimal 5. 5 5s are 25. 25 times 5 is 125. And we have 2, 4, 6 decimal places. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2 decimal places there, 2 there, 2 there. Or we have 2 inside and we got a tripled, cube it, so we get 6. And decimal 06, decimal 06, decimal 06 when you cube it. 6 6s is 36. 36 times 6 is 216. Just check to see if we're right. Decimal 6 cubed. Let's turn this on. Let's go with 6 cubed. Oops, sorry. Clear that. Let's go with 6 power 3. And we get 216. 36 times 6, 216. And we got 2 decimal places, 2 decimal places, 2. So that's 6 altogether. 3, 4, 5, 6. 2 decimal places in each. And decimal 01, decimal 01, decimal 01. 1 times 1 times 1 is 1. And we have 2, 4, 6 decimal places. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we have PEMDAS, PEMDAS, the order of operations. So we have to do the inside of the brackets of the parentheses first. So we have to work in here. I have to multiply, add, multiply. So I will do the order of operations is I do multiplication, division, left to right, and then addition, subtraction. So decimal 9 times decimal 9 is 9, and there's 1 decimal place. 1 decimal place, there's 2 decimal places, so it's decimal 09. Subtract 6 times decimal 01. 6 times 1 is 6, and there's no decimal places there. 2 there, so it's 2 in your answer, so it's decimal 6. We have to subtract decimal 09, subtract decimal 06. 9 take away 6 is 3. 0 subtract 0. And so we get a 0 decimal 3, and we cube it. And 0 decimal 3 times 0 decimal 3 times 0. Sorry, decimal 03, decimal 03, decimal 03. 3 times 3 is 9, times 3 is 27, and we got 2, 4, 6 decimal places. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So order of operations, we have to do brackets, but our brackets are done. So we have to do our exponents next. So 1.5 cubed is 225, but if you want to do it quick, use your calculator. 1.5 power button 3. We have 3375. So that's 3375. But notice we have 1 decimal place tripled, so there's 3 decimal places. 1.5 squared is 1.5 times 1.5, so that's 225 when I square 15. And there's 2 decimal places, 1 for each when you multiply. So it's 1.5 times 1.5. So there's 2 decimal places, 1, 2. And now we have our powers done exponents, we subtract. So 3.375 subtract 2.25. 5 subtract 0 is 5. 7 subtract 5 is 2. 3 subtract 2 is 1. 3 subtract 2 is 1. So I get 1.125 as the final answer. That's a little bit of work on squares and cubes of decimals, just practicing a little bit out of an order of operations. If you like my video, click on the like button, the subscribe button, notification bell, write a comment if you wish, and visit my website at www.mathfullyexplained.com, where you'll get information about my degrees and teaching experience, the teaching strategies you're going to use to help you learn the math. Also a section on content on my YouTube channels, which has the topics, the number of videos, topics to be completed is in black font, and the topics completed is in black font, topics to be completed is in red font. Thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed the video. Bye-bye.